This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Many of our viewers know that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is what gave us the idea for girlfriend reviews, because my boyfriend thought it was real funny when I'd complain about sounds like this, and this, and this. Damn! Coming from the living room every day for 2 months straight, and I thought it was funny when he'd complain about the super uncalled for ragdoll physics.
Give me this grace, it is my pleasure.
Oh, thank you, little roots. What in the hell was that all about?
What many of our viewers do not know is that the next 3 games my boyfriend wanted to show me after we spent 250 hours in Zelda were Zelda, Zelda, and Zelda. I watched him sail through Wind Waker HD, howl through Twilight Princess HD, and fly through Skyward Sword 480p almost 2 years before we actually started this channel. So by the time we got to Skyward Sword, all the small things that many people found a little annoying about it were big things that I found big annoying. Shut up, Fi!
I'm afraid I can't do that.
That's why if Nintendo thinks they can finally do the bare minimum to fix it a whole decade later and expect gamers to happily buy it again at full price, they're right. But a backseat gamer never forgets. Long have I waited, and now your re-release will be your undoing. So, this isn't just a review of Skyward Sword HD. This is also a review of what it's like to live with someone who played the much crappier Wii version a few years ago. We obviously don't have the footage from our playthrough on the Nintendo Wii. However, we can recreate what it looked like by taking the footage from our Nintendo Switch playthrough and running it through this nifty video filter called a deep fryer until it's extra crispy. Okay, we're getting closer to the original visuals, but the frame rate is still far too smooth. So let's just chop that right in half. Perfect. This is exactly how I remember the stunning art style, which was influenced by Impressionist painters such as Claude Monet, and not at all by the Wii's obsolete hardware. As Reggie Filet-Mignon famously put it on Jimmy Fallon, trust me, Conan, squinting is a feature.
I've hurt children.
The next thing I remember about Skyward Sword is less about how it looked and more about how my boyfriend looked while playing with his Wiimote. But more on that later because the motion controls are still pretty jerky on Switch. The last Wii exclusive bone I have to pick is with the relentless stop and chats. If you thought, hey, listen, was bad, you're gonna love hearing before Siri pops out of the Master Sword to share some unsolicited probabilities like, hey, you know how you're 100% certain that you know where you're going right now? Well, I thought I'd cast some doubt over all the fun you're having by telling you that I'm only 60% certain. Okay, see you in a few. Basically, Nintendo thought we wouldn't recognize C-3PO if he was blue and wore fishnet thigh highs. Going by his drag persona, Fi is ready to lip sync for her life. Her frequent interruptions usually just contained redundant info, such as the very astute advice that we do indeed enter the temple we were about to enter. But on occasion, Fi would straight up spoil the solution to a puzzle we were currently solving.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
In spite of this widely shunned companion's behavior, Fi is remarkably not to blame for the worst stop-and-chat crimes I've ever witnessed in a video game. For some reason, if you turn off your console in between play sessions, the game forgets what items you've already discovered, meaning every item you touch will once again pause the action to slowly type out a description of that item just in case you needed to remember what an arrow does in the middle of combat in the final dungeon. So, when Skyward Sword released in 2011 and received a mixed reception from fans, Nintendo's official response was,
Why is no one having a good time? I specifically requested it.
Everything went really well in our rehearsals.
That's why to promote Skyward Sword HD, they had to make a quality of life trailer that specifically addressed the exact reasons no one was having a good time, or else people wouldn't have bought it. Folks, this isn't just a remaster of Skyward Sword. This is a redemption of Skyward Sword. I love this game. First of all, now that it doesn't feel like I forgot to wear my glasses, the graphics are delightful. Eee. Good boy. Skyward Sword paints the colorful whimsy of Wind Waker over the more lifelike appeal of Twilight Princess to create what I believe is a near-perfect art style for this franchise, because it hits that same tonally versatile sweet spot between rated E for everyone and rated M for Mom, I'm scared, why did you buy me this? That Ocarina of Time once hit to remain the series' most agreed-upon masterpiece. Even the character designs walk a confusing line between charming and alarming. Thank you! Imagine if you walked into a store and someone went, "Oh!" I would leave immediately. Whenever Nintendo would introduce us to a new friend, it almost always went like this.
He's so ugly! I love him!
Much like the setting of Hyrule itself, Skyward Sword's artistic direction populates picturesque habitats with Kafka-esque inhabitants. And much like the protagonist himself, the player enters this surreal underworld where all their familiar survival skills exist, but where their methods of control feel strikingly unfamiliar, further enhancing the nightmarish sense of calamity looming over the dreamscape. The motion controls. They were hilarious to watch my boyfriend use in the Wii version, and they've only gotten more hilarious the less common they've become. Oh,
Whoa,
what
sorry.
are you doing?
I was, what the motion controls? Oh, see? Whee! Oh.
Skyward Sword HD does feature a non-ridiculous control scheme due to popular demand. The thing is, and please don't boo, my boyfriend is the galaxy's biggest supporter of motion controls.
Oh, stop booing. There's nothing wrong with it. There are dozens of us. Dozens!
And besides VR, Skyward Sword is what he considers the bold yet flawed peak of waggling a stick to play video games.
Total concentration, focus, breathing, and motion controls. Warp 3. Oh,
Unfortunately, this peak was reached with gimmicky, primitive tech, whose all-encompassing implementation and AAA budget proved only slightly more fun than its rudimentary beginnings, and not nearly reliable enough to warrant its takeover of a major IP. For example, doing a skyward strike by raising his controller into an upright position is supposed to feel like this. But in practice, it usually goes something like this.
Link, charge the sword! It's so annoying.
There's lots of Zelda games with good controls. Let my boyfriend have one Zelda game that puts our dogs in physical danger.
It's not working it's not working. Ow! Oh god, I hit that. Oh no, I'm sorry. I bumped you right in the face.
Listen, if it's stupid to flail around in frustration while catching bugs, well then yeah, I guess my boyfriend is stupid.
Hold. 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 Ah! What the
You didn't even catch it. In conclusion, none of the other Zelda games have Groose. I farted, help! Now gather round as I tell you all about NordVPN and how they'll keep you extra safe on the internet. NordVPN hides all your internet data behind a big ol' wall of next-gen encryption. NordVPN has a strict none-day business policy. There are no logs, meaning they don't track, collect, or share your data because it's none-day business. Choose from over 5,400 servers in 59 countries. That's so many servers. What I like best about NordVPN is how fast the connection is. I'm living in the fast lane. I don't have time for Grandpa VPN slowing me down. Take control of your internet experience today with NordVPN. Go to nordvpn.com/girlfriendreviews to get a huge discount on a 2-year plan of NordVPN plus 4 free additional months. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, that's nordvpn.com/girlfriendreviews to keep your internet experience safe and sound. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, and thank you to NordVPN for supporting our channel.
Nothing big, really, just I farted!
You know, I farted.
Forgive me, I farted. Now I farted.
Oh, I farted.
I'm sorry. I farted.
Hey, I farted seriously.
Your Grace, quickly to the gate. I farted!
Catch you later. I farted. Do you recall when I farted?